Hello, everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. All right, so this evening we are going to explore a brand new collection from Uniquely Creative. We're going to do a layout and a couple of cards as well. So we haven't shown this collection. This is a new May collection from Uniquely Creative. It's called Tea and Tranquility. It is absolutely beautiful with soft pinks and greens and just got a vintage look to it. We're going to be showing this tomorrow on our happy hour, but if you're joining me this evening or watching on the rewatch, you're going to get a sneak preview of this product. So let's get going. So good evening, everyone that's tuning in. All right, so this is Tea and Tranquility. And I'm going to show you the 12 by 12, the solids. There's a 6 by 6, and then all the other fun stuff that come along with it. All right, so let's start with the 12 by 12 because that's going to really show this collection beautifully. All right, so you're going to get 2 of each of the pattern papers I'm going to show you in the collection. Please be my. I've done some prep work and did all my fussy cutting, so that is why there's holes in my insert sheet, because on the insert sheet of your 12 by 12 collection pack is always that cutaway sheet on the back side. So I've taken some elements already and pre-planned and pre-cut them so you don't have to watch me fussy cut. But you can see the beautiful colors in this collection. So lovely, whoopsie, lovely greens and roses and pinks and just really beautiful. All right, so like it's tea and tranquility. So you're going to see teacups and teapots, florals, and just it's lovely. It really is a lovely collection. All right, so that's the back side of the insert. I love this paper. All right, so we have that one. You're going to get 2 of each, and on the back side you're going to get this kind of distressed wash look on there, and then you're going to have one of the cut apart sheets, and I'm going to be really kind of focusing on these cut apart sheets just to show you, like, you've got great ephemera in each of these collection packs, so we'll be using some of this, and then this one's got that lovely, I'm going to call it damask. I know it's not a damask, but look how the dimension on there is beautiful. Here's the other cutaway cut apart sheet. All right, so you can see that with a lovely green kind of plaster stone look on there. This one I love, all the tags, easy cutting. All right, and on the back side you've got kind of this patchwork. Then you've got kind of the watercolor lines, and then this is, I love this one. This is pink with script on it. Goes this way. And then we've got a plaid, and then that wonderful green with the florals on there. You got script in the background. And then you have this one here, which is kind of that distressed kind of plaster look. And then you've got another wonderful pattern on here with script in the background and print and such. And then finally we have this one, which is very similar to the one I just showed you. And then this one's got florals on it, and then it's got a great polka dot on the back. All right, so those are the 12 by 12 pattern papers in the collection. And like I said, you get 2 of each. All right, so there is that. Put that to the side there. All right, then of course there is a coordinating cardstock bundle on there, and I love these ones because all the colors in the cardstock bundle is going to match the collection beautifully. And so you're going to get 2 sheets of each. And what I love about Uniquely Creative cardstock is it's two-toned. All right, so the front side you're going to have one tone, and then on the back side you're going to have a secondary tone. All right, so usually one is darker and then one is lighter. So you're going to get a lovely green, what they call mint, rose, beige, and cloud. And then the flip side of those ones are just lighter tones of that. All right, so beautiful. So it matches the collection. It's going to pick up all those lovely dark tones and light tones of all the colors. Okay, so then there is the 6 by 6 collection pack. It's going to have the same patterns as I showed you as the 12 by 12, just smaller format. You are going to have cutaway pages in there as well, somewhere. There is one. There's another one too. There's some tags in there. All right, so 6x6. And then there is the creative cuts, of course, which we love. I'm just going to show you the backing of it because I've already kind of selected mine for my projects. All right, so there's that. Again, take a look at all those beautiful greens and rose and pinks and love it. All right, so that's the creative cuts, which we love. And then there was, this one's just one that matches the collection, but not part of the collection. This is part of their essential ephemera. And this one is called Bloom and Brew. All right. And I love these ones. These are great filler ones. And if you watched my Fun Friday from last Friday, we used something very similar, these ones. And this has just got lots of goodness in there. All right. So we'll be using bits and pieces from that. And I just see Sherry's question there. Do you like Uniquely Creative's cardstock? All right. So the cardstock, it's not, I'm gonna be transparent. It's not like the Spellbinders cardstock that I love, all right, which is full color right through the paper. The Uniquely Creative, I'm just gonna grab it back here. Is a white core cardstock. So if I rip this, you will notice that it's got a white core. You can do some really cool stuff with it. I just find it's not as thick as Spellbinders, but I do love it for scrapbooking. I do love it because it color matches beautifully. It's not so much I love this for, making card bases out of it and such, but I do like the color and I do like the finish of it as well. There's no texture to it, but I do like it. I think it's because it's not a true solid core, and you have that white core. That means you can do some really cool embossing techniques with it as well. All right. So I don't know if that really answered your question, Sherry, but so yes and no. If I compare it, if I had to choose between my cardstocks, I would definitely choose my Spellbinders cardstock. That's what I love. But I love the Uniquely because it's got almost a softer finish. The colors have a softness to it, not such a bold, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that I don't know if I answered your question, but that's just my input. So, all right. In addition, there is a mini cut apart sheet. All right. So this is one of those sheets that has 4 of this same design in there. And then you would use a die to cut it out. So I already trimmed mine out. So there's a cut apart sheet. And this is all about birthdays and congratulations. And I love these ones. And I'll show you the die when we get to the card using that. There's a couple of items that we still have coming in, and it's the stamp and this die set. So if this is something that you really, really want, just let us know. We'll make sure you get your name down it. But we're going to be using this little stamp, and I got to take it out because they stuck the sticker on my teacher pack right over top, so you can't see it. But I just think this is just a lovely little design with florals and that butterfly. I love their little mini stamps. All right, so there is that. So we'll be using that on a card. Then we have this lovely floral die. And when it cuts out beautifully. It's like lace. When I first cut it out, I was like, oh, all the innards, but I just flicked my die cut and it came out. There was a few that I had to poke out, but it die cut really, really nicely. So we're going to be using that. And then this one, oh my gosh, this one here, I cannot wait to play more with it because I think there'll be some fun stuff we can do with it. Now, the name of this one is the folding ticket frame die. All right, so this is one entire die that will cut out this. There is a little line there. That is not a cut line. It is a score line. So you could actually fold this in half and make a little um, ticket frame. All right. So I just think for mini albums, I think this would be really cool. We're going to use it as is flat on our layout. To put pictures behind, but I also thought that it would make a really cool shaker card as well, without the dimension. You could just fold it in half, put adhesive around the back side of the frames, put your sequins in there, and then sandwich it so it's a flat shaker. I think that would be really cool. So I will be playing more with this die. I think it's going to be a really cool die. Wait till you see when it's all cut out. All right. So I think that, oh no, there's one more really cool product. I saved the best for last. All right. Is this. This is the vintage ticket washi tape. I don't know if that's the exact name, but you'll find all this product under May releases. All right. And you'll find this. I think this is like $4.99 a roll, guys. Like this is really cool. So, um, I'm just going to kind of show you. There is the repeat. All right. So that's the length of it. All right. So you've got all these great tickets, but what it is, there's the the outside will come off as well. So they're actually like a ticket shape. So if I peel this off, all right. So you can kind of see, you're going to do that. You're going to rip that off. All right. So if you do that on both sides, oh my gosh, it's sticking to my finger. All right. You'll do that. And they actually are a ticket shape. All right. Now this is a border, and you're just going to rip or tear in between. All right, but it does come off as one big border. Look how awesome that is. And we're going to be using that. I just think this is great for, like, adding stuff into your background. All right. So, oh, Sherry, you're always challenging me. You know what? I think that is a really great idea because I do think it's a very versatile die. So, let's see. I'll add it to my list, Sherry. And let me see what I can come up with. Because it is a very cool die. Wait till you see it cut up. So that's the vintage ticket washi roll. All right. So which is really, really cool. And price point on this is amazing. All right. And I just love the colors on there. So I know it matches with this collection really well, but it's still got those soft pinks and greens, which we see in a lot of collections. So everyone go out and get it because it's such a good deal. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we're gonna do one layout, and the things I'm doing are totally inspired by the Uniquely Creative design team. They had some really great samples that they shared with us, so I am just not reinventing the wheel. I am actually taking from their inspiration, and let's just get going. Let's just dive in. All right, so I did a lot of prep work ahead of time because I used those fussy cutting pages that were in the collection pack. All right. So I did do all of my fussy cutting ahead of time. But we're going to start on the layout, and we're going to do a single page layout. Here is what that die looks like. All right. So it's kind of cool. You could cut this in half and then just have the tag singular. I love the fact that there is a little debossed notes for journaling on there. Now, if you didn't want to use the little part with the notes, that little stub at the bottom, you could definitely cut this in half, and then you're going to have a lovely kind of tag with that kind of perforated edge on it, just like the top is. And this is what I mean. You can fold this. There's a score line. I'm not going to fold mine because I'm going to use mine flat, but there's this little score line. So this would sandwich together. And then, like I said, you could have some fun with it. And the way I look at it, like this here, if we punched holes in here, we could make a little mini album out of there. I just think it's just a very cool die. So, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, let's get started. Let's go this. All right, so I need my paper trimmer, which I did not grab. All right. So let's get going. All right, so I picked two papers from the collection. Like I said, I love that pink script, and then I loved this one here that's got the script on there and the florals. All right, so we're going to start with this one here as our base, and I'm going to just cut off the logo strip. And keep these logo strips because on the back side is always a great pattern. And I'm going to show you on one of the cards what you can do with these little border strips. All right, so I'm just going to hold that there. And I am going to, I don't have to cut the logo strip off of this one because we're going to do a little bit of ripping. All right, so I'm going to now just take this pattern paper and I'm going to rip. All right, so I'm going to go maybe about 3 inches from the one side, and I'm going to rip at a diagonal down to the other side. So, and I want that white edge showing. So, oh, I got a good white edge on there. I don't know what it is about Uniquely Creative, but I always get good white edges when I rip. So that is what I'm going to use. And we're going to actually put this right on top of here. And I love the fact that we can kind of curl this up. I have a little too much white edge, I think. No, I don't have enough. All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach that on. So I'm going to grab my glue and let's just go with it. Maybe we won't glue. It's not working. Uniquely Creative has a brand new glue. They have a new glue out. We will get it with our next order. It is temperature sensitive, so I got to wait for the weather. I had to wait for the weather to kind of warm up a little bit, even though it's not warming up. It's still bloody cold out, and I probably shouldn't complain because Sherry will tell me differently because she is out west. Do you still have snow, Sherry? I know you got some snow the other day or last week, I think. So, but when is spring gonna come? I was hoping it'd get a little warmer, but it's still kind of chilly out there. All right, so I'm just going to kind of curl this up. Now, if you don't like the rip look, you could do just a diagonal cut on there, but I like the texture of the rip. All right, it just gives a little bit of interest in the background. All right, so then I'm going to grab my two frames here, and these are going to house, I want to say, a 2x3, probably a little bit more than a 2x3. No, a 2x3. All right, so I'm just going to put my 2x3s in there so that you know that it's a 2x3. All right, so these are my little photo frames. So let's just glue them in. I'm just going to put a couple little dots of glue just so that when I have this on display, people know what size pictures. So those 2x3 photo mats just fit in there perfectly and I think I'm going to just add a little bit of double-sided tape to that just to hold it in place. Because it is just fitting. All right. You would actually have pictures to put in here, but I just need placeholders. All right, so okay. So I just cut two out. I have my solid green one, and then I did that lovely kind of watercolor floral, and I'm going to offset these. All right, so I'm just going to offset it there. So let's do that. You could definitely pop these layers up if you wanted to. I am just choosing to lay flat, and then I'll probably pop up the whole item here. I get a little dot there that's getting in the way. Okay, so that is going to be my photo, and now we're going to place that kind of in the center here, our main attraction, and we're going to pop that up with some foam adhesives. So no foam tape. All right, so what? It's 19 there? That's warmer than us. I think I only got a high of 10 today here. Guess you're having the nice weather. Jealous. All right. I probably did overkill on my foam adhesive, but you know me. I sure can, Sherry. I'll write that down after the fact. But you know what? Could you shoot me a message on our messenger on that? Because you know how me, I'll probably forget. But yeah, if you could send me a message, I will definitely send them. I have to talk to him tomorrow anyways, so that would be a good time. I like that idea. All right, so there is kind of our basis now. Our photos are there, and now it's all about decorating. All right. So here is that lovely floral die. Look how beautiful that is. All right. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. So I cut that out of the pink cardstock from the cardstock bundle. I cut it out twice, so I have that. And then I have the title, Peace and Tranquility. That is from the Creative Cuts. And then I did cut that. I don't know if that that's from the Creative Cuts. And I think everything else that I have here are florals from the cutaway sheet. So I just fussy cut them out. I left a little white border on there. With something as delicate as these little stems here, leaving a little white border is a little bit easier. I have one with a straight edge because I had to use the B-side of that, and that's where the straight edge was. So, and I also have some of the pastel doilies, which I grabbed. I don't know if I'm going to use them, but we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to just start building my florals and layering them. So there's the one with the straight edge. I'm just going to put there, and let's put something. Well, I'm going to put my Peace and Tranquility down because I'm going to put florals around it. So I'm just going to pop that up, and I'm just going to put in that bottom area of the bottom of those tag frames. All right, so something like so. All right, so then I can take my florals and now kind of work around that. All right, so and now it's just a fun little, tucking in the different layers. I like to dry fit everything first, as you can tell. And I love different layers on there. Um, mm, let's go there. And then I'm going to go in with adhesive and glue and pop this all up. All right. And let's go with, okay. So clusters, really easy to do. I just, I balanced it from having the one corner up here and the other corner here. Oh, it is a great Mother's Day layout. And we're doing, actually, we're taking my mom out and my sisters. We're all going to a place here in Port Corbin called Sprout Plant Parlor. You probably have heard me talk about it. We're teaching a class, or Michelle's teaching a class there. We're going there on Mother's Day to do some planting. So maybe I will do that. All right, so I'm just now going to very quickly kind of stick these in now with all my adhesives. Easy peasy. Hey, Venice. And one more, and then I'll use the other little pieces that I have here, and we will stick them in as well. All right, so I mean, that's easy. I'm going to move this one over just a tad bit. And then this one's going to have to get moved over just a tad bit. Okay, now we'll do this one here. All right, there we go. All right, so there's that. And now I'm going to grab these. And we're going to use these, and I'm going to cut this in half, or cut this. I just love this. I just love the look of this. And I'm going to just insert it in there. And we're just creating another layer in there. Yep, that works out perfect. All right, so when I do this on my cut edge, I am just putting the glue on the cut edge. And then I am going to tuck that underneath. We don't want to see the cut edge, so you want to make sure that that straight edge is covered. And then we can take this other piece, and I'm going to glue it there. All right, so we've got this really, I'm going to bring that up to the camera so you can see nice layered look. And using that die is just like a lace piece, right? So it's not going to take away from those florals. It just adds to it. And, I used one and cut it in half to get those different layers in there, and it really creates a lot of depth. All right, so we're going to do the same thing at the top here. So I'm going to cut this one in half. And I think one is going to go kind of in that area, and then one is going to go in, I'm going to take this one off, in this area, and then I'm going to layer this on top, I think. Yep, let's do it. All right, and the same thing, we're just going to put adhesive just on the straight edge there, and then I'm just going to tuck that. Again, I don't want to see the straight edge, so just tuck it in until you can't see it no more. So it looks like it's a full piece behind there, but really it's not, all right? So we really just added lots of texture and depth on this, and it was very simple to create. All right, anything else I need to do? Sure, why not? Do we want to add these? No, I think not. What else is in here? I gonna do one more thing. I know there are some great little little sayings here. So let's do the today, this little arrow banner. And this is the insert sheet from the 12 by 12. So honestly, for this layout, I just used the 12 by 12 and obviously the die, and the creative cuts, all right? But actually, for all the projects, I'm using the 12 by 12 creative cuts. That's it. I didn't use the 6 by 6. All right, and let's pop this guy up as well. So easy cutting. I mean, that was just all straight edges. Squeaky cart. Da, da, da. And I'm just going to grab a couple of smaller foam gems. I have pearls here. You know what would have looked really nice on here is that roll of pearls that they have. I didn't grab them. I don't have them here. All right, so there is that. And you could add a little bit more down in here, but I really like the focal point of this. And I didn't use the little pastel daisies. I have these guys. We could definitely use these, a little bling. So, and again, I like tucking them in amongst those little clusters. I'll bring this up closer to the camera in a second. All right. I mean, quick and simple. All right, there we go. There are the little pearl daisies. Super cute. They come in all different pastel colors: pink, purple, green, blue, white, maybe yellow. But there is that. I mean, not much more. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put those tickets down here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a row of tickets down at the bottom here. So I do. I'm going to go right here. All right, so making sure I take the little edging off. Which is now all sticking to my hand. All right, probably easier to cut a length first and then take it off, but all right. Do I have? Oh, I didn't cut that long enough. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll just put that to the side and we will use that later on a card. All right, let's measure this much better now. All right, I'm gonna take the edgings off. Can you believe that? Uh, my cats will pick that out of the garbage and they'll bring it downstairs. All right, there is the edging off of it. Nope. Okay, now we can do it. All right, straight. All right. So that is down, and then the excess, I'm just going to, instead of cutting it off, I'm just going to fold it to the back side. And now I'm going to call that complete. All right, so there is layout quick and simple, using all the goodness from Uniquely Creative Tea and Tranquility. All right, so simple layout. I did all the fussy cutting ahead of time, but that's the worst part of it. And actually, it's not that difficult to do the fussy cutting. I like to do the fussy cutting like when I'm preoccupied with something else, either watching the ball game. I just sit and cut. So you have that. All right, so there is that. Okay, put that to the side. And let's do some cards now. So let me just tidy up a little bit here. And let's get my card here. All right. So this one here, we're going to use the stamp set and some of the fun stuff from the Creative Cuts. We've got little teacups and bows and the green tea, the word enjoy, happy birthday. And that black and white strip that you see here is one of the logo strips, all right, the back side of it. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to start with a piece of white cardstock. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to use this lovely pink script. I was going to do white, but why not use the one I really like? All right. So let's do the logo strip off of this. And again, we will keep that. That's got a lovely kind of graph paper, sage green. All right. So we're going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. All right, and that's going to get layered onto here, but we're going to stamp first. I think that's much better than a white piece. All right, so let's get our stamp platform out and that lovely stamp. And I'm going to get this into the corner here, and let's get this stamp. All right, so brand new stamp. So that means I want to condition it. Once again, I have lost my other magnet on here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of push it to the left-hand side, closer to the top, because we're going to put tickets down here, and then we're going to kind of build up a cluster. I should move that up a little bit of cluster there. So I'm going to just kind of position it right there, and we will condition that with our conditioning eraser. And that is from Alt New. For those that are waiting for it, we will be submitting our Alt New order. If it's not this week, it'll be the beginning of next week. All right. So we will get more of these in. But the conditioning eraser is going to take any kind of manufacturing residue, oils, and such off of the stamp, so we get perfect stamping that first time. It is, you know, a lifesaver. I love the conditioning. All right, so I decided I was going to do this in Mint Chill. I hope this is going to work. The color I want. That's not. We're going to go with it. All right, so this is Mint Chill from 49 and Market. I don't have my oxides here, but Bundled Sage would have been a perfect color in the oxides. But we're going to do Mint Chill. All right, so. And we might have to do it a few times just to build up that color. I think that color will be fine. So one thing I like about the 49 and Market inks is that you can stamp with them. All right, they're very similar to Distress inks, other than the fact that you can stamp with them. I don't find that you can stamp with Distress inks very well, but with these ones here, I like how you can stamp with them. All right, one more time. All right, beautiful. All right, so you can see that lovely stamp. Isn't it pretty? Such a pretty stamp. All right, I'll clean up my stamp afterwards. Put that to the side. And I'm going to grab an ink. And I'm just going to grab some of that mint and just add it to the edges of our pink. All right, so I'm just going to use a foam dauber here and just add a little bit to that just to bring in that green. And I might actually do our other panel as well. All right, so this I just cut out from one of the pattern papers. That's where that other piece went. Sorry, I'm looking around because my cat is up here on the spare bed, but the spare bed is covered with some boxes. And I hear him in there. I just don't see him. Okay. Let's create now. All right, we're going to do that lovely. I think I want that. Yes. So I'm just going to rip this. All right, I'm going to take the edges off. Okay, now I really want these kind of florally tickets here, so I'm going to something like so, I think. Again, I'm just going to wrap it around. All right, so we have that on there now. And now we're going to just build up our little piece with our ephemera now. So things I have, this was one of those tags I cut out from the tag paper. And I'm just going to ink everything with the mint chill just to bring in that green. All right, so I did that. This is one of those logo strips, like I said. And again, I'm going to just hit the edges. We have a butterfly. The butterfly I did fussy cut out. This one I didn't leave a white edge on it. And the reason why is I wanted a butterfly. That was from the cutaway sheet. The rest of the stuff is from, oh, there's another butterfly. Both of them, these were from the cutaway sheet. The rest of the things were from the creative cuts. And the creative cuts don't tend to have a white edge on things. So love these little teacups. Happy birthday. I love the little green tin blend, the little canister, and a bow. And I have the word enjoy, which I'm not going to ink because there's black around the edges. All right, so let's go ahead now, just kind of build a little thing here. All right, so I'm going to start with our little black and white piece here, or black and gray piece. And I am going to put that down. I'm just going to glue the edges because I want to tuck this other tag behind it. Well, maybe I'll do this first. Oh, my glue is not working again. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down. Something like so. I want to have those florals popping out there. All right, so that is down. Then we're going to layer our striped piece, and this is going to go over top. And that's just a great way of using those border strips, just to create, you know, a border, another layer. All right, so we have that. And now let's build our little, we're going to have a little cluster of teacups. I'm covering that little teapot that's at the bottom there. So we're going to have that and our little ice cold one. And our tea blend. So we're just building a little cluster there. I'll bring this up closer to the camera in a second. Then we will have our happy birthday. And then the butterflies, I'm just going to layer one on top of the one that's on the stamp. And then another one here. All right. And then we'll put the bow on there. That looks fun. Oh my gosh, all the pink is coming in. I'm glad I used that pink script now. All right, so let me start putting pop foam adhesives on here. So everything is getting popped with the foam adhesive. I'm being strategic on where I'm placing the foam adhesive so that it's not interfering with the layering that I'm doing on here. Butterfly. Butterfly, I'm going to curl the wings. I'm going to just glue the body down, but I am going to put a few foam adhesives just under the wings to hold them up. All right, so whoop, flew away. Which one is my bigger one? All right, so this guy here is going to go down here. So I'm going to put his body down first so that glue to attach. And then I will let the foam, I'm just going to push down that body so it tacks down. All right, and then let's do the other one. And like I said, this one is going to go right over top of that stamped one. So I'm going to glue that. I'm going to use the antennas as a guide. I was going to use the word enjoy, but I'm not sure if I will. We're going to put happy birthday kind of where those two tickets kind of meet. Oh yeah, we'll put enjoy. All right, this one we're going to go flat because there's no way I'm doing foam adhesive behind here. It's too skinny. So we'll put that kind of in this area right here. And then I had the bow. The bow is going to, I'm going to put that right over there. All right, so there is the card front there. They all turned out real nice. All right, and then we're just going to put it on a green card front there, and then that will go on my card. It's bringing that to green all in. All right, so let me just get the glue. I just looked at the time. Man, an hour goes by quickly. I still got 2 cards to do, so don't go anywhere. I will do the other 2 cards. All right, there's that. Do we need any pearls on there? I've got some green pearl daisies. Let's do it. Oops, that one, the pearl came right off. All right, so there is with the pearl daisy on there, and there is card number, or I guess card number 1, project number 2. All right, so there is our first one, and then you can go in with some stickles and some glazing glue if you really want to add a little bit more dimension and texture on there. But there's that. All right, let's continue on. Let me just tidy up here, move on to the next. What a mess I have here. Get my pin in there. Let me just tidy up. Okay, so next card is this. We're going to use a lot of stuff here. Now this one here, I did use a couple of dies. I just wanted, because everyone always asks. So basically I have cut my card base with the Tonic Studios scalloped rectangle layering base. I love this one because it's such a petite scallop on there. Oop, let's see there, the petite scallop on there. And then I use the regular rectangles to cut the inside. All right, so we've got a nice little layer there. All right, so that's what we're going to start with. All right, so I'm going to glue those 2 together. Any type of layering dies would work, and if you don't have rectangle layering dies, then you can just cut rectangles. All right, but it's always nice to have a little bit of a finish on the edge. Makes it a little extra special. All right, so this will be my card front. All right, so there is my card front. I love this paper, just beautiful. All right, now some of the elements I have here now is just we're going to mix and match some of the cut aparts. All right, so that was fussy cut out. That was fussy cut out. That was fussy cut. Actually, all of this stuff was fussy cut out. All right, so we've got florals from the paper. This was from the insert sheet, and the rest is from the tags and such. All right, so this is all fussy cut from the pattern paper, and it's not difficult by any means to do it. It's quite simple. All right, so we got a couple of tags, and I just kind of picked out 2 tags from the sheet. I'm just going to punch the holes on them. Okay, there is that. Okay, so we have the 2 tags. I have this great little library card. I've got this lovely tag and this little piece. It all came from that tag paper. And then I have some extra florals. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to start layering the tags. And actually, I think I'm going to ink these with a little bit of the mint chill. I see I have a little bit of white edge showing. It wasn't perfect cutting. That's what I love using ink for. It camouflages. If you're not the world's best, fussy cutter, it's okay. Use a little ink. It camouflages it. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of layering of these tags. Again, we're just creating the background for it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this piece. And we're going to layer that on there. You can see we're getting a nice cluster. And we've got this lovely piece. Ooh, you know what? I want to move this on this side because I don't want to cover up those florals. So again, I'm just dry fitting everything. And then we've got this little, I don't know, I'm going to call it like a kind of a tape piece or something. I don't know. We're going to tuck that in there. Again, I don't want to cover too many of those florals. I'm wondering maybe I should go this way. And this is just a great way to use those tags and such. You're just building interest in the background. All right, so there's going to be kind of our base. All right, it's not until we start putting these florals on that it's all going to come together. All right, so we've got that. And then I have some tucking in, and then I'm going to put the XOXO kind of right on top here with the happy birthday there. And I mean, really quick and simple layering with all those tags. All right, so I kind of have my placement. I'm happy with it. Now I need to remember it. And I'm just going to start gluing this down. All right, so these I'm going to glue down flat. So whenever I do stuff like this, I always, just put that adhesive in the center. And if I need to tuck things in, then I can. Oh, there's lovely. Oh, I like this side better. Not that you're going to be able to see it. This has got florals on the side. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it makes me happy knowing the florals are front side. Okay, this we're going to pop up. So again, when I put my foam adhesives, I'm going to concentrate in the center of that. So if I need to tuck anything, and we're going to push this to the left-hand side. Not all the way, but all right. And then this piece here, well, this I'm going to glue down flat. We're going to tuck that. And this we're going to pop up. So this one here, I'm going to pop up something like that. So I'm just going to put the foam adhesives on the right-hand side of this because it's just going to layer flat on top of our library card. So just being mindful where I'm putting my foam adhesive. Okay, so there's kind of the basis of our card. I'm going to bring that up so you can kind of take a look. All right, again, just using tags from that tag page to create a fun, interesting background. All right, now we're going to grab those florals and we're going to layer them on. And I'm going to use foam adhesive. It's going to be a lot. I'm being mindful of where I'm putting my foam adhesive just to keep things all kind of level. All right, so we're gonna have this kind of curving around. I don't want to cover too much of these florals here. Um, that looks good, right? I'm gonna bring it down just a little more. And I'm just gonna stick just a foam adhesive on top of a foam adhesive behind this floral so that it just sits level. All right, so there is that. How pretty is that? These little pieces I have left are just filler pieces. I'm going to tuck them in afterwards. Let's get our XOXO on first. Again, that was from the cutaway sheet. That's in the pattern papers. All right, so I'm going to push this in. We want to see the end of the tag there. And then we're going to have our happy birthday. Do I want that tucked in? Sorry, I got to raise it up, guys. I got to take a look at this. Do I want it tucked in? No, I'm going to pop it up. So for this, because of my location of where I want this, I am going to put my, do I want a space? Okay, never mind. I'm just going to put the foam adhesives on the back. I changed my mind. Sometimes if I want something in a specific spot, I'll put the foam adhesives on my base and then stick my element on there, but just reinforcing that foam. All right, so there is, oh, that's not very straight now, is it? Let me readjust that. All right, now it is straight. All right, now our little filler pieces. So now I can go ahead and just tuck these in. And I think we need maybe one of those washi tape ones here. So I'm just going to grab, what do I have left here? Do I want a green one? No, I think I want a pink one. So I'm just going to grab this one here. And I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. You're missing an action. And I'm just going to cut kind of that ticket edge. No, yeah, I'm going to. I'm just cutting the little half circles out of the edge there. Or rip it. All right. And then this one here, I'm going to tuck in. I'm going to rip the bottom of it because we don't need that much. Trying to get it straight. All right. There we go. Okay, there we go. We've got that little ticket on there. Love it. And I think that one is done. I mean, I just need to place it on a card front, but I think that one is done. All right, so quick and simple. Just a great way of using those cutout tags from the 12 by 12 tag page. All right, so there is our second card. We got one more, guys. One more, and then I'll bring everything. Oh, I forgot a butterfly. Should we put a butterfly on here? Do we want it on there or should I leave it for my next one? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna see. I might need it for the next one. All right. Okay, one more, guys. One more card with the lovely Tea and Tranquility line. just gonna tidy up a little bit. Oh, I haven't used these yet either. All right, we're gonna use these on the next card. All right, here we go. My next little tray. All right, so this one here, I'm going to use the mini cut aparts. All right, so I talked about this at the beginning of the video. This comes in a full 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you can cut them just with your paper trimmer into strips, or if you love these, because they come out with every collection, there is a die, and this is called Cut Apart Essentials number 5 die, and it just makes life so much easier with this die, because basically on their little registration little corners on the opposite corners, the top left and the bottom right, and those will coincide with the little registration marks on the actual sheet. So you just cut it into quarters, your sheet, and then you are just going to lay this on, and you're going to line up those registration marks, tape it if you need to, all right, and you're going to run that through your die cut machine, and then you are going to get all these lovely sentiment strips. All right, and they're perfect. All right, so the I love the die because sometimes when you're cutting these little sentiment strips, things go a little wonky. All right, and all right, because the paper trimmer, your paper shifts, and then you have crooked sentiment. So having the die is kind of really nice to have. If you love these sheets, then I do say invest in the die because it makes life so much easier. And basically, from one page, you are going to get 4 of these. All right, so it's going to give you a lot of different sentiments. I would say share with a friend, and you're going to have sentiments ready all the time. So I literally have one of these craft stacks with all these sentiments cut out so that I can just go through them and grab what I need when I need it. All right, so that is that. Okay, gonna move that to the side. All right, so this one here, oh, I have a butterfly here, so I can use that butterfly on the other one. I knew I had a butter. Okay, going back to this one, and I'm gonna add the butterfly on here really quick, and then we'll move on to the last card. I'm going to stick that right there. All right, that one's done now. See, butterfly. Okay, so this one here, we're going to do a square card, and I've used the pattern papers and cardstock to create all my mats for this one. Now, the die that I use for this one, which is a stitch square, is the one from Elizabeth Crafts, and the reason I chose it is because it was sitting on my desk. All right, so it's this one here, the brand new one. This is the stitch squares and circles. I've used each of the squares on here, so this is going to become a 6x6 card. And you could do the same kind of design with an A2 card if you wanted to. All right, so this is my base, and then there's that lovely pattern paper, and then green cardstock, and then another pattern paper, which is the flip side of that. We're just going to layer them all together. All right. And I guess this is a good thing with, if you want to have all these different layers, this is a good thing about the creative or uniquely creative cardstock, is because it's not super thick. And same with their pattern papers, adding these layers is, it's not going to create too much bulk. I got this glue. I love this glue, but I don't like it because it keeps on clogging. I have a little like piece in there and it keeps on getting stuck in there. I should probably just put this away and grab my other glue. Okay, so I'm just going to layer all of these on. They're all going to go on flat. Going to center them in. Love that floral pattern paper. Oh, Sherry, I haven't tried that either. I'm going to have to. Sherry says the sentiment papers, the cut apart sheets you could foil. So that would be with the mink foiler. I'm going to have to try that. Not tonight, though. We'll not be trying it tonight. All right, so there is my layered look. All right, so there is that. So that's gonna be my base. And now let's just talk about the things I picked out. All right. So I did die cut one of those lovely florals in green cardstock. So there is that. Then from the Creative Cuts, I grabbed the little kind of bucket of florals. I've got some cacti here. I've got some extra florals. This is all from the Creative Cuts. There are some tickets I'm going to use. These are from the Creative Cuts. Another floral. And then I have those sentiment strips. And then I have the word enjoy. I've got a butterfly, but I also have a bird. So I don't know which one I'm going to use. And then I had leftover green cardstock, like a strip of it. And so you know me, I love to have little fillers. So this little leafy stem is a die cut from Uniquely Creative from it's an older one, but it's called Leafy Stem. And they have a bunch of different stems, as you can tell. And these are great fillers. So it's when you have those little strips of paper that you know you don't want to hold on to because they're too small. But I just found this, it just worked really well, and it will give me some filler. And then we'll also use some of the essential ephemera there too, because there's some lovely branches in there. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to just start with the little tickets. All right, we're going to kind of stick them to the top kind of left there. And then I'm going to have my little pail of flowers, something like that. Um, And then we're just going to fill it in with fillers. So I think I'm good to just start going on. All right. So this is going to be our kind of our main focal point is this guy here. So we're going to go ahead and you'll notice that I kind of bent it. I'm shaping it. All right. So I like doing that with a lot of my elements just to give them some dimension. So then I'm going to pop this up with some foam adhesive, and those foam adhesives are only going to go in the center. All right. So the rest of it's going to kind of curl down towards the card front. All right, we're going to kind of put this in the bottom right, kind of. All right, maybe I'll move it in a little bit more. It's not quite centered. I moved it a little bit. Okay, now these two tickets here, I'm going to just kind of glue them together, and we're going to tuck them. Just going to put the blank one in the back and the pretty one on top, and we're going to just kind of adhere them together at an angle. All right, so we've just, oops, kind of moved. And then I'm just going to put glue behind there, and we're going to kind of tuck this in behind, and we're going to have a cluster here. Don't worry. We will fill that up. Okay, so there's that. And then let's grab some of these lovely florals now. I have this, and I think I want to cut this in half again. I want to put some there and some there. All right, so let's just cut this. So we're going to put one kind of up in this area and one in this area. Love, love, love this die. So this die, for some odd reason, I missed it on our order with our May release. And then when I looked at my teacher's pack, I'm like, why didn't I order this? So it is coming in. I did place an order with Uniquely Creative today with the new card kits and creative kits and such that will be coming up with this collection. And we've got this die coming in. So if you love this die, you can let us know and we'll make sure that we put one aside for you, or you can just wait till it comes in. But I do love the look of it. All right, so we're going to just tuck this in here. And my tweezers. All right, so there is that. Now I'm going to put florals in the butterfly here. So let's move this. Let's okay. Oop. Just going to tuck this into here. And And then we have these little cacti pieces. So I'm just going to start layering it. That's going to go in there. And I might put a couple of foam adhesives just behind here. All right. Stick that in there. All right, and then we've got this lovely floral. Again, I'm going to just put a foam adhesive on there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the base of it. And we're going to tuck this in here. Oh, maybe we need to trim this off a little bit. Now we got a secondary little piece here. All right, so we've got a lovely cluster going on there. It's gorgeous. All right, now on this side here, I thought we could use some of the layering white flowers, because why not? So my pack is getting very empty. Lots of different layers on here. So this is kind of where I was going to hide that. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So I'm layering a large one first, and I want to cover kind of the ends of those tickets. All right. So we've got that one on. Then I've got a smaller one, the same shape, but just ever so much smaller. And then maybe we'll put the butterfly on top. The birdie is not going to make the cut, I don't think. No, I think that's going to be the butterfly. All right, so let's go ahead and put the butterfly on. We're going to pop that up. So I'm just going to put a foam adhesive right in the center of him, and that's going to go right in the center of that floral. And we'll fold up its wings. Okay, then we have the word enjoy. Although, maybe we won't use enjoy because I have these ones. All right, thank you for being you. It's your birthday. You are the best. Sending love across the miles. Thanks so much. Thinking of you. Wishing you the happiest birthday. The big decisions I got to make. Congratulations. You are amazing. All right. I'm going to do wishing you the happiest birthday. I think that's what I'm going to do here. Okay. I'm just going to trim the ends so that it's not so long. So this is just a straight cut. And I'm going to all right, so I'm going to just tuck that end just underneath that floral ever so slightly. It's going to come across and like so. Is that straight? Maybe not. Okay. There is that. And we could probably still use enjoy if we wanted to. Wishing you the happiest birthday. Enjoy. Let's do it. So this we don't want to pop dot. So I'm just going to put some glue. And I'm going to kind of fit it in amongst the bottom of. All right, so there is enjoy. And then I said I was going to use these guys here. So let's go. Oh, and I got fillers. Hang on. I got these fillers too I want to use. So these we're just going to tuck in. I just ripped a little bit off. So we're going to use a little bit of these leafy ones because I die cut them. And then we're going to grab a couple of those in there as well. So All right, so let's take a look at this one. Oh, there's some other leafy little stems in white in this. All right, so that'll work. All right. Let's use them. Then I can say I use this pack. All right. Oh, this is kind of cool. All right, it's not what I expected. I thought it was a separate little one, and it's not. It is a little corner, which is kind of cool. Can I make it work though? Let's see. Yes, I can. Look at that. I'm going to tuck that right underneath behind those. It's like a little half frame. But I tucked it right behind my little tickets there. And it's going to work nicely. So I'm just going to leave it there and just going to add a little bit of glue. That kind of worked out just beautifully. There's a couple little innards in here that did not fall out. So I'm just going to poke them out and add just a little bit of glue. All right. That one I'm going to consider done. I'm going to put a little bit of Pearl Daisy stickers on it. All right, I got you, Ruby. I see your request, and then Teresa, I see you as well. All right, so I'll get you down on that. I will write that down once I get these little Pearl Daisies on. All right, so I chose the white ones this time. So I'm going to stick one right behind that Y. That's going to hold it up because remember, I couldn't glue that down because it was popped up. Like the base of this is popped up, and then this had nothing. So it was just floating. So I used a Pearl Daisy just to hold that up. And then let's do one over here. And I'm tucking it underneath the kind of the leafy branches. All right, and I feel we need one more. And let's tuck this one over here. All right, and that one is complete. All right, so there is that one. That's got lots of layers on it, but isn't that gorgeous? Love it, love it, love it. All right, let me just bring it all out here again. All the projects we did with Tea and Tranquility. Let me tidy up, move everything kind of out of the way to give it its moment of glory. Those are stuck on there. All right. So 3 cards. All right, so there are the 3 cards we created. Ah, there we go. And then, of course, the layout, which is absolutely, I love the colors in this one. Just beautiful. All right, so working with the 12 by 12 paper pad for all the projects, all right? And we really focused on the cutaway sheets in there, and that's where we got a lot of our ephemera, but we also use the creative cuts. And the die, that really floral, that great floral die, the vintage washi tape, and then that really cool tag die as well. So 4 projects for this evening for Tea and Tranquility. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments before I sign off. Really fun to play around with. These will be, I'll take pictures of these ones and post it on our Facebook page so you can get a kind of a close-up of them. I know it's not totally close up with the camera, but we'll take close-ups of that and we'll post them so you can take a good look at it. And if there's anything that you would like other than that floral die and the stamp, everything will be under our May releases. Everything should be there. All right, so it doesn't look like any questions. All right, so that means I am going to sign off. Thanks for joining us, everyone, watching live and on the replay. We'll be back on Friday morning for Fun Friday, and we will be doing hunky dory, quick and simple cards. All right, I have 5 cards planned for Friday morning, so join me then. All right, everyone, have yourself a great night. We'll talk to you soon.